Absolutely hilarious. Absolute cinema. The most fun I've had in a movie theater in 6 years, 7 years, give or take. The Masters of the Universe delivered in a way that I was not expecting this movie to deliver in the least bit. I just got home from watching Masters of the Universe, and it truly was something that I hope people actually make the decision to go to the theater and watch this movie. It is so much fun. It is so heartfelt, and it genuinely has good messaging. And you're probably thinking to yourself, Strez, it's He-Man. What kind of messaging can it have? Exactly that. This movie was a conversation, a commentary on masculinity and what it truly can be. And we'll get to that later in the video. But first, I just want to start out with the way that it looks. This movie looks like you took the action figures from a playset that a boy is playing with in the 1980s and gave it $300 million to turn it into a movie. Like, that's genuinely what it looks like. And I'm pretty sure that that's precisely what they were going for when they sat down and started planning out the way that they wanted this movie to look. I was blown away by the amount of like practical costume that they had. There was not that much CGI involved in a lot of the characters on either He-Man's side or Skeletor's side. Obviously, there was some CGI mixed in because special effects are where they are today, and you can and have to kind of do that in some instances. But a lot of the things that these characters were wearing and just the makeup, the way that they made them look, it was like practical, real, actual costume design. And I thought it looked really, really good. Like Mechanic, obviously when his neck extends and he goes into like the full on extended Mechanic character, that part is CGI. But when they have him like regular neck length, it looks like it's actually made with real costume and like somebody actually put it together, and it's not just CGI. Pretty much all of like Skeletor's entire body, except for the way that they made the face move, was like practical costume. It was amazing. It was truly amazing. The way that Duncan, his armor and everything was like practical made. And two, they play into the fact that this is a movie based on a cartoon that was based on action figures. Like, that's right. That's the order in which it came, right? Like, I probably should have looked that up before I went into this. I didn't know anything really about He-Man other than there was He-Man and he was super strong, and there was Skeletor and they were enemies. That's basically all I'm familiar with, and a couple memes here and there. I wasn't a He-Man person. Like, I didn't grow up in the 80s. I'm from the mid 90s. Like, I completely missed the He-Man piece, but I was vaguely aware of what He-Man was and who He-Man was going into this. Like, they just lean into the fact that it's like the movie is self-aware. Like, it's genuinely self-aware of what it is. The movie that they're making, the movie is self-aware of the fact that it's a movie about a guy named He-Man who wields the sword of power and says, by the power of Grayskull, I have the power. Like, Alison Brie's character, the witch, I don't know what her name is. I should probably pull up like a character list here of all of that stuff. But her character was hilarious, but also like so fitting. Like, it made sense. Like, the way that the cartoon was, the way that it's literal action figures, and like, you have to picture this is like 7-year-old, 10-year-old boys like playing with these action figures, making them say the most ridiculous, cheesy things, but it's being delivered by Alison Brie and Jared Leto and Idris Elba, like, and it so on and so forth. Like, that's how you have to view this movie, because that's like how it was done. Evelyn, like, her name is Evelyn, not Evelyn. evil in. Like that's hilarious. The fact that the movie was self-aware of like the cheesy, corny campiness is one of the things that I found like incredibly endearing about this movie. Like it was very self-aware. Like there's a point at the end, obviously there are spoilers being shared in this video. So if you haven't watched it, you can ignore this part. You can ignore the rest of the video, go watch it, come back and watch the rest of this video. But at the end of the movie, like they're standing around and they're laughing and they have their hands like on their hips and they're like, ha, 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 ha. Like they're playing into the fact that this is a movie based around action figures and a cartoon for 10-year-olds. It's so well done, in my opinion. It works. They make it work. The one thing though that really caught me off guard that I probably wasn't expecting going into this movie, and it was a pleasant surprise, is the amount of innuendo that this movie has. Like so much innuendo. And obviously you can figure it out with Fisto, just the amount of innuendo that was there with that one. At one point, Skeletor references the huge sword dangling between He-Man's massive thighs or something like that. Like at one point, what's his pet tiger's name? Cringer. At one point, there's a scene where Tila and He-Man are like telling him to go in to battle, and he's like kind of scared to, and she straight up goes, pussy. Like straight up just calls him a pussy. And then He-Man leans down, like grabs him around the neck, and he's like, he's not a pussy cat. He's a war cat, or a battle cat is what he said. He's a battle cat. I died laughing when that happened because I was like, what? What even, in what universe am I watching a movie where it's based around action figures for children? Did she just call this cat a pussy? Hilarious. Hilarious. There was a reference to Ram Man from Fisto. He said, what did he say? I don't want to ruin it for you guys because they're so funny, but this one really got me. He said they were like back to back fighting off Skeletor's minions, and he goes, give him head. And I died laughing. It's just so many jokes like that in this movie that like they land really well because they come at the most like you just don't expect them to happen when they happen. Like it was so funny. There was also just a lot of heartfelt pieces to this movie as well, right? Like it's a story about this boy who was sent far away from his home and he lost the only thing that can get him back to home. And once he finds it, he's like holding on to it for dear life. And then he eventually gets home and then he gets to see his mom and dad and, you know, realizes the true power of like who he actually is. And there's just so many pieces to it that are heartfelt. And you like, wow, this is actually like tugging at my heartstrings. Speaking of tugging at my heartstrings, I forgot to mention his roommate. Adam's roommate on Earth is hilarious because while Adam is gone, like at work or on a date or whatever, he sits at home and watches like rom-coms, like The Notebook. I love that. I love The Notebook, by the way. And the fact that he's sitting there like with his like Kleenexes, tissues, like wiping his tears and like blowing snot stuff, like it's funny. And that'll bring me to a point that I'm going to bring up towards the end of the video as kind of like the ending of it all. But like there were heartfelt moments of it too, where he's going through and recapping everything in his life. And it was like, Skeletor's trying to throw everything in his face. He's like, you were a massive failure. You were never enough, all this kind of stuff. And then he like realizes who he truly is. And it was just one of those things where it's like, okay, this is genuinely tugging at my heartstrings. My wife was watching it with me and she leaned over and she goes, are you crying? And I was like, no, I actually wasn't crying. But it was like one of the, like she was checking in to see if I was because of that. It was altogether like the way that the movie was put together was really well done. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very, very, very much. And the piece of the commentary on masculinity that it really brought up was truly fantastic, right? Because when you think of He-Man, you think of huge, powerful, incredibly muscular, perfect hair, perfect abs, will punch his way to victory. And that's not what this He-Man wants to do. That's not what this version of He-Man wants to do. He wants to talk it out. His job on Earth is in HR, for crying out loud. He wants to do nonviolent conversations, diplomacy, instead of fighting and being violent. It's one of those things that you're just like, wow, okay, that's pretty cool. He literally has the power of a god, and yet he's still choosing to not wield it unless it's absolutely necessary. And to me, like, that truly speaks to like what true masculinity is, right? Like, I don't think when someone talks about masculinity, I'm not necessarily viewing masculinity as this like, oh, this guy is like the alpha male. He definitely runs the roost. He is the most powerful in the group, and he makes sure that everyone knows it, and he makes everyone bend to his beck and call and all these, like, that's not how I view masculinity. And I think that's how a lot of people kind of view it. But the way that this movie presents it is a form of like healthy masculinity, like true masculinity, where he lets himself cry when his dad dies in this movie. He wrestles with the fact that like his life, he spent all the way searching up for this moment, and it's coming to an end before it ever really even got to be started. He is figuring out that it's not just about the brawn, right? He has the conversation with the sorceress. It's not just about his brawn and his brute strength. She actually points to the fact that he has empathy and kindness, and he cares about people, but also is able to be completely dominant when he needs to be protective and actually take care of the people that he cares for. He tells Skeletor, he's like trying to talk it out with Skeletor. Skeletor doesn't want to talk it out. They end up fighting, and Skeletor is getting dog walked. And, you know, he's like, what do you want to talk about? And he's like, I'm sorry, the time for talking is over. To me, that's it. Like, that's what masculinity is for me. And the fact that it was exemplified in a movie about He-Man is fantastic. It's truly fantastic. Plus the bit about his roommate, like, loves watching rom-coms. Like, fellas, watch the rom-coms. They're so good. Let yourself watch a love story. Let yourself watch a movie that you would consider a chick flick, because I can promise you they are fantastic. The Notebook is great. I cry every time I watch that ending. The Curious Case of Benjamin Button is my all-time favorite movie. That's an aside. Let yourself watch those kinds of movies. But this movie really did a lot. It really did a lot. The post-credit scene was pretty cool. I wish I could have seen who it was. I don't know if that information is like public knowledge yet. Let's see. Who plays in Masters of the Universe? Okay. I don't know who this actress is. Nice. That'll be fun. There's obviously going to be a sequel to this movie, Masters of the Universe 2. They fully set this up for there to be room for a sequel, and I hope that it succeeds. I really want people to go watch this movie, because I had so much fun watching a movie about an action figure and a cartoon made for 10-year-olds. It was an absolute blast. The people that were in the theater with me were like belly laughing for a majority of this movie, because there were so many parts where it was just like, that is hilarious. So I really hope that people go and watch this movie, and I really hope that it is successful in a box office way, because I already think that it's successful in a, we're retrying to make the He-Man movie. Jared Leto did a fantastic job playing the Skeletor character. It was really great. You know, he, like, again, more of the self-awareness. Like, this whole movie felt like a fourth wall break. He's like, I have a skeleton for a face. I'm a villain. It's like, yeah, obviously, right? Like, it's kind of in the old Western movies, right? Like, the white cowboy hat, the guy was the good guy. If he had like a black cowboy hat, he was the bad guy, right? Like, they made it super obvious. That's how He-Man and Skeletor is, right? Like, obviously we know He-Man is the hero, but like when you're looking at it on the screen, He-Man is this like bright, bronze, like flowing, beautiful hair and white teeth, big smile. And then the bad guy is literally a skull for a face. Like, it's very obvious. And he leans into it, and Jared Leto does a really good job in his performance as Skeletor. I thought we see memes, we see Skeletor memes, we see this stuff, and I thought that they leaned into those things in an appropriate way. Like, it wasn't like cringe; it was done in an appropriate way. So, I think overall, if I had to give this movie a rating out of 10, I would probably give Masters of the Universe a solid 7.75 out of 10. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie, and I think more people should go and check this movie out at the theaters. Don't wait until it comes out streaming or on DVD or Blu-ray or however you like watching your movies. Do people still watch Blu-ray? I feel like everything's streaming now, so probably not. But I hope people go watch it. I really do. I think this movie deserves to be successful. I think the cast did well. I will always love seeing Idris Elba. Marina, I don't know how to pronounce her last name. She plays Deadpool's wife, her girlfriend, Vanessa, in the Deadpool movies. She's also Officer Gordon's wife or girlfriend or whatever in Gotham. She was great as the sorceress. Like, it was just all around. I really enjoyed this movie, and I hope that you did too. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Drop a like on your way out, and I will catch you in the next one. Enjoy your dinner.